we're live. How's it going, Matt?
Good, Jeremy. How are you?
Good. Got you on the TV again, just tucked into the chat there.
Right on.
I gotta find a better configuration for the chat. But all right, we're going in. So yeah, we're gonna get back to some Tunnels and Trolls tomorrow. What were you up to this week? In between our last, we did character creation for Will, right? And got him going. So it's going to be 2 dwarves and 2 elves. Thankfully, there's balance.
Or 3 dwarves, depending on who you ask.
Oh, right. That's right. The shortest elf. That was funny.
What have I been doing? Oh, I played some board games with Will and some folks on Tuesday. We've been playing Study in Emerald.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played that?
No.
So it's a Martin Wallace board game. I don't know if you know him. He's an English. I think he's English. A board game designer who's done a lot of cool, but not like real, uber popular board games. I don't know, but he did one called Study of an Emerald, which don't cancel the game, but it is based on a Neil Gaiman short story. Basically, and that's based on a old Sherlock Holmes story called The Studying Crimson, I think. But the whole idea is like Sherlock Holmes and Watson stumble onto a murder it ends up being like this weird thing where they unearth the fact that the world's being controlled by like elder gods pretending to be nobility. And it gets all crazy shenanigans. Well, the board game is supposed to be emulating that, but really it's just running around. You don't know who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. You're just trying to create influence all over the world, and it's a pretty fun. It's a little clunky, old school game. I think he designed it like 20 years ago, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and he even has like tracked the lore. So he has another game that's a little newer that you may have heard of called Australia.
Oh yeah.
And that game is farming and mining and developing Australia. But then all of a sudden you stumble on Cthulhu things and the whole game flips from farming and mining to building military and fighting off Cthulhu beasties. And he actually built it as in the lore that's like literally after the good guys in Study in Emerald defeated the Cthulhu nobility, they found out about Australia because it's like this alternate timeline where they've been controlling mankind so long that humans didn't even know about Australia. and it was like this little place, little hideout for the mythos creatures, basically. So after they threw them off, they're like, "Hey, we found a continent, and let's settle it." And,
that's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Fun. That's a fun idea. Nice. Yeah, we got a chance to play a little Frostgrave on last Sunday. So yeah, actual in-person gaming in Japan, believe it or not. Yeah. So Luke, a coworker of Chris's, was interested in kind of miniature skirmish. First time he'd ever played Frostgrave. So instead of doing a 3-player, we just did a 2-player to start out because I think 3-player knocks things a little. You kind of have to gang up on or the temptation, I guess, is to kind of gang up and try to control the board. 2 players can keep 1 player off. So I thought for the first game, if he ended up being the odd one out, that would really be a bad first experience. And I didn't have a good list. I didn't have a good starting list put together. So, and I realized too, I was going to use my painted miniatures from Oathmark, but you can't really mix because it's not super sensitive, but you want to be careful with, base contact and stuff. So having square bases and round bases together is probably not a good idea. You might have a little, depending on how you angle things. There's not really facing in Frostgrave, but it's. I figured I'll put together something all on round bases so we all match. But but so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try 3 players next time. So we'll see how that goes now that he's had an experience.
As long as you like pick a scenario that, I mean, I'm just going based on my Stargrave experience, but we didn't really have too much of a problem with that when we played 3-player because the scenarios usually had the board seated in objectives.
Yeah, that's true.
And usually there was something else going on, like there were some monsters or other, NPC kind of gang thing happening. So it usually kept us from thumping one guy too much.
Right. No, that's a good idea because I think we were just going to play the vanilla setup, but that's probably a good idea to do the random wild beast, spawning for the encounters. I'll dig up some minis for those because that'll make it more distracting and everything. And plus the list I put together, I just chose the wackiest spells that I'd never chosen before. Like in Frostgrave, they have grenade, so you just basically imbue a stone and just like chuck it across the board and it does blast effect damage. And then the animated skull, so basically I spawn a creature, it only has 1 hit point, but anybody I can get it near is going to have is going to be in combat, so they can't shoot or they can't move. So I've got a very harassing spell list. So we'll see how that goes, but it should be fun. So that'll be probably in a few weeks. I think like beginning of March we'll get back to it.
Right on.
So I want to build some more terrain in the meantime. That would be fun. I've got a lot of cut foam, like cut styrofoam, snow and stuff for Frostgrave. So, but the original stuff that I built was all Lego mini scale, so maybe almost twice the height that it should be for 28 mil. But Frostgrave is a lot of fun. Even just building the gang, like choosing your school and then choosing the spells is a lot of fun in that game.
Yeah,
because it really forces you to think about different synergies and what kind of style you want to play.
Yep, Stargrave has a very similar vibe. Like you have to choose a captain from a certain set, and then your I forget what they call it, the lieutenant guy. I forget what he's called. Similar thing, and then your minions go after that, of course. But there's a lot of different, options for backgrounds for those characters and the powers they can get.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. I really want to try Stargrave sometime too. Just the flavor would be fun. A fun change. Very cool. Well, it looks like we got some people in the chat already. Nice to see everybody. Yeah. Clarion's first in. That's awesome. Abyss and what else is going on? This is some Matt guy. I don't know. Orcus. Hey, Orcus is there. Nice.
Vero's around.
Oh, Vero, too. Yeah, there's Vero. Nice. Yeah. Thanks for showing up, and and thanks Matt for filling in. Chris had a last minute cancellation. Things are going haywire again. I think putting out fires was the message that I got. So that doesn't sound like fun. But very good. All right. So should we get started for this week? You good? All right. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
And this week on the weekly, Fallen London, Old World RPG, Fighting Fantasy, the books return to the US, and Dungeon Scrawl on Roll20. So a little bit of a little bit. So the first thing that you couldn't avoid with social media advertising, which I think probably everybody checked out. If they didn't know what it was, they checked out what it is on Kickstarter, because there is now an official role-playing game for Fallen London. So this is an officially licensed version of the, I guess, originally text-based RPG that's been around for a while, 2009? Continuously running since 2009. That's pretty impressive. Originally called Echo Bazaar. So browser-based interactive narrative game. So basically, like, you have actions. You you type in commands, and the game tells you, what you do. You start in jail, of course, and you have to get out of prison and explore fallen London. But the setting itself sounds very interesting, and it's previously been a video game. There was a video game release as well, so you may know it from the video game, you may know it from the browser game, but Magpie Games is putting it together. So the Sunless Skies, the Sunless Sea, and Mask of the Rose are all the games that you may know from these guys. The producers of Fallen London are Fail Better Games, and they have been doing this for quite a while. So the setting is the Neath. Basically London has sunken into a cavern, is a subterranean city with a stale body of water around it. And the RPG is going to give you plot hooks for the game, numerous character types, all inspired by the browser and the base in the video game. And plus, it looks like they're unlocking on the Kickstarter kind of iconic NPCs. So you see more and more of these named NPCs coming up, and they'll probably be statted out for the game. So delve into the Neath. London, 1899. 40 years ago, the city fell into a vast cavern beneath the earth. Now hell is close. Immortality is cheap, and the the traitor Empress Victoria still reigns. So yeah, there's actually plots to assassinate the Queen or the Empress of London, of fallen London. So a lot of interesting. So because the setting is you're brought closer to hell. Hell is actually geographically accessible in the game. So there's a brackish subterranean sea, the Untersee. The Presbyteriat of the Elder Continent, and the Connaught of the Zee are the other continents. And and off to the west, of course, is hell itself. So I guess that'd be in the direction of America, right?
Hell itself is in the west.
So
getting truer by the day.
So time and causality aren't always what you expect. The geography can change, and death is no longer permanent. So some of the denizens of this fallen London are the Rubbery Men, the Ratisfaber, the Claymen, and of course devils. So looks like they had a lot of fun with character creation. The Parliament, the Constables, and the Ministry of Public Decency. I like how that still exists in a fallen city. And in the setting, London's called the Fifth City, so they don't know what that means. What was the fourth, and what will be the sixth, are kind of the big mystery. So 3 to 6 players, and in the setting, and so Magpie is using their Adana system. So I think it's a D6 kind of dice pool system. It's very simple central dice mechanics. There's a quick start if you want to see kind of what they're explaining, but basically it's an attribute and a skill. So you have add an attribute between 0 and 4, and you roll a skill die. You may have an asset die, and you may also have a good circumstance die for advantage. And you make those rolls looking for 5s and 6s. And and some of the character creation looked kind of fun. So each PC is built on picking from 6 different options: their nature, their origin, their profession, their disposition, association, and the twist. So do you have an inappropriate pet? Have you lost your memories? What's the twist for your character? So 12 base skills, and then menaces. So menaces are the consequences, kind of like the conditions you take in some of the Free League games. So you can have nightmares, or there's scandal, suspicion, or actually just wounds to the body. But and then of course they're going to support both alchemy and Roll20 for the VTT assets, and they're unlocking things like art prints, dice trays, all that good stuff, cloth maps. It looks like a pretty busy. And they've also unlocked the Z Expedition, a conflict system and guide to London's supplement. So there's a lot of supplements that it looks like they're going to be opening up, as long as a lot of iconic NPCs. The captivating princess, the skinned Pharisee, a dice bag, the Poisoner's Handbook, and of course your garb and attire catalog. So if everything digitally is for a pledge of $29, so that's not bad. all the PDFs that are unlocked, and it looks like a lot of stuff is coming out. And they said also that that may be the VTT assets as well. They said if you want just the VTT and digital, the Deliciously Digital Pledge is good. Just the basic hardcover book is $59, and all the supplements, the book and all the supplements are $99, and it goes up from there for all the goodies included that they unlock, the maps and dice bags and everything. But yeah, it looks interesting. I never played either the video game or the text-based game. Had you heard of it before we got attacked with the advertising?
I'd heard of it, I think. I was noticing in the chat that Abyss has played it before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so maybe he can give us a little more feedback. He said it was interesting.
Nice.
But my impression when I started seeing the advertising, my first impression, which obviously was not correct, was Blades in the Dark kind of vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that's the way it goes exactly at all. Really,
Right,
it doesn't
right.
seem like, so could be cool.
Yeah, it seems like you're more on your own, and like trying to making your way, and also that it's expected that you're going to be torn apart by something and then show back up.
Yeah,
You will not escape. So Magpie, they're also the ones that did the Airbender, like the last Airbender game, right? Was that Magpie? Yeah, I think that was their big license. So yeah, this is a pretty big license. It's already been established. There probably is a player base, from 2009 that they can rely on, and people that were made aware from the video game. So it seems like it's doing well. They're collecting some big bucks from the campaign. So hopefully they can execute, as well as they did with the last Airbender. Or was that Evil Hat? Or was it Evil Hat or Magpie? I'm getting confused from the indies that are making it big.
I'm not sure, but that system you described, I've heard of before, because I remember us talking, and I was like, that sounds like the Year Zero system, but they made it 5 and 6 instead of 6.
Right.
for the successes, and yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it is Magpie. Yeah, so Magpie had huge success online with Avatar. Yeah, they had it was in the millions. So let's see if they'll do that again with with Fallen London. Oh my god. Yeah, so so a lot of different options for that. So yeah, take a look at the there's a quick start for the game on the Kickstarter page, and also you can take a look at the browser-based text game, and check out your Steam wish list just in case Fallen London is on there. All right, so another game that popped up. I don't think they're crowdfunding it, but it's a new license. There was a little bit curious. It seems like they're just going to milk the poor boys at Cubicle 7 until they get every penny out of them. So Warhammer: The Old World. So yeah, there is going to be. So yeah, of course, Age of Sigmar killed the old world in the Warhammer Fantasy setting. Video games and the tabletop RPGs have never gone away, have never stopped being popular. So, of course, Games Workshop brought back the old world. But this time they're going to kind of, pull the setting back a little bit and make it very unsatisfying. All the, the things that you enjoy about Warhammer Fantasy will no longer be there. So there's no Skaven and lizard men, and there's nothing fun. It's all just, people derping around in the Empire. But Cubicle 7 is paying yet another license to Games Workshop to make Warhammer: The Old World. So they're saying this is kind of a introductory, or kind of maybe more of a gateway game. So simplified mechanics. If the Warhammer Fantasy original, or what their version of it is too crunchy, a little too deep, this may be an easier way to get in. So the old world takes place in the in-universe year 2276 IC, so it's 250 years before the era of Emperor Karl-Franz. And the things that they have been saying in interviews is this is not meant to replace Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. They don't have a release date yet, but it's in progress. It's going to be a D10 die pool system as opposed to a D100 system. There are no hit points or wounds. You will play ordinary citizens with a few unusual races, and the release is going to be a player's guide and a GM's guide. And Chaos Corruption is going to be in the GM's guide, but they also talked about Chaos being a little more rare and a little more hidden. So another fun thing about Warhammer Fantasy is going to be less present. So Chaos and Corruption will be weaker and not so present. The thing that looked a little bit interesting, though, is your Session 0 will... your group will be a grim portent. So you'll discover the nefarious goings-on in the Empire and decide what you're going to do about them. So something you just can't ignore that you're going to have to face. That might be a nice way to set up an adventure. And instead of meeting in a tavern, it can be a conspiracy that, becomes apparent. So they're going to release a player's guide, a GM's guide, a starter set, and then a GM screen with a booklet that has a campaign kind of starter. So what did you think reading about this release?
This one's got me going two different directions, man, because I love Warhammer Fantasy, and I love first and second edition, and I am perfectly fine with fourth edition. We do not speak of third edition.
The board game, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the sell you crap edition. So when I saw this, because fourth is pretty strong, it's pretty successful. I mean, it has some clunky mechanics in my opinion, but the basic mechanics are very much inspired by first and second edition. And so I was very skeptical. They're moving it back 250 years, which that doesn't bother me at all, because then, I've never relied on a book to decide what is going to show up in one of my games. Yeah. So I'm not so stuck with canon that I wouldn't use Skaven or something if I wanted to. But the system is radically different than the old system. And as long as it's a tight, good, well-running system that feeds into grim, dark Warhammer, then cool, I'm fine with it. The little bit I saw was you're rolling dice based on your attributes, and your target number is based on your skill, I guess. So maybe that's cool. I don't know. The combat better be good, because that's one of the things with Warhammer was just gritty, gory combat with arms being lopped off. You got to have that, or you're not doing it right. You also need some kind of corruption, or some sort of chaotic corruption possibility out there. And you probably need good sanity and fear rules. So if they're putting all that together, then cool. I'll probably check out the starter set or whatever they do for it, but I'm very skeptical. It feels like Games Workshop said, we don't consider the old world to be the same as Warhammer Fantasy.
Right.
So we're going to soak you guys, make you do a totally different license. Or we'll just give it to somebody else, and then suddenly there'll be 2 Warhammer games on the market. Right. You'll be screwed. So they're forcing them to pay them to water down their products by running 2 essentially competing lines. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you don't,
that's messy.
Yeah, it is. And if you don't license it, somebody else will. So but that's how Games Workshop got tricked into licensing the Lord of the Rings, for their Middle Earth strategy game, is because they were so worried somebody else was going to do that and it would outcompete Warhammer Fantasy. So they just licensed it to prevent competition. The frustrating thing with the old world is it looks like the setting and everything, all the decisions they made to bring it back, because it doesn't look anything like some of the early concept artwork they were showing us. They're just recasting the old miniatures, boxing them up, charging triple, what they were. Maybe with the inflate, or with in today's dollars, it's not actually that much more expensive, but it feels very expensive for these very old sculpts, for most of those miniatures. And it was all based on things that didn't continue into Age of Sigmar. So the Seraphim, the Lizard Men became the Seraphim in Age of Sigmar. The Skaven became a major, they did resculpts and made them a bigger race. So they can't they don't want models to work in 2 games. So they basically chose the setting based on rules and, licensing and model availability and what they had done. So really stupid. I mean, it doesn't, you feel the marketing department and the licensing guys and basically the lawyers are making the decisions about what these settings are going to look like. And that sucks. Yeah, that's not cool. But yeah, focus on the Empire as the default setting, and we're not unlike the previous setting. We're not getting any. It's Talabheim is the Taalagad is the original setting, so a little bit different than you might expect. And we're not getting Bretonnia right away, so yeah, this would have been a chance to set it somewhere else. But we'll see. So yeah, focus on sandbox and simpler rules. And I don't know. Cubicle 7 stuff is not cheap, so it's hard to get committed to getting into a new game that you may not be able to get people on. And it also depends on, especially for us, like what kind of VTT support they're going to do. I think I forget if they're Fantasy Grounds or who. Cubicle 7 kind of had a default, I think, for a while. I don't think we've played any Cubicle 7 games on VTT.
Yeah, they're not on. They're definitely not on Alchemy.
Yeah,
I don't know what else.
Yeah,
I haven't ever seen one of their games advertised on a VTT.
Yeah, I think they had a choice, but maybe not big support, but yeah, so we'll see. It's an interesting choice. It's coming down the road. I do think that's a bad idea to split the split the fan base, because if people are just getting into Warhammer Fantasy through the miniatures game and then maybe interested in this, it's going to hurt their sales of everything. But they've already kind of been doing that, because they've got like 3 40K games. I guess back in the day, Final Fantasy Flight had like 5 40K titles. You could play as Imperial Guard, you could play Space Marines, you could play as Inquisitors. Like, they broke everything up per game, kind of like what they did with Star Wars. So we'll see how this goes. I definitely want to see the rules and see if it's a fun game. But as we've been told with some of the other properties, they're kind of a mess. The Age of Sigmar game is not great. Yeah. The 40K, like, stuck in your little pocket universe is not great.
Yeah, and the saying it's sandbox, I wonder about that too. Like, are they trying to tell, like, are they telegraphing that, don't expect any elaborate enemy within style campaign, right. In which case that kind of means, okay, so you guys are just gonna crank out a book every year and let us fend for ourselves,
right, yeah, just some expansion book, giving you like details of a setting and here's some story hooks and go about your business. We'll see. And it may be just having to commit that many writers to that many systems and that many adventures. And there was a question in an interview with the designers about if they would make things that would be crossover, that would work with Warhammer Fantasy and Old World, and they just gave up that idea because the time, the date, the timeline is makes it harder to make it compatible for both. I thought just rewriting it.
I guess they said the stat line stays mostly the same.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Like they said something to the effect of Warhammer players will recognize the familiar stat line. Okay.
Yes. So an introductory game for Warhammer Fantasy. Just play Warlock. Warlock is such a beautiful, rules light way to play grimdark fantasy. It's awesome. All right. And speaking of fantasy and fighting in fantasy, they're back. Or I guess they're kind of back. They've been around forever. They're in print in from various locations, but in America, the fighting fantasy books are back. So the solo adventure games by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson are being crowdfunded by Steve Jackson. No, not that Steve Jackson. For the first time in, I guess, 2 decades, like about 20 years in the U.S. So they're getting reprinted. So Final Fantasy, You Are the Hero. So the kind of choose your own adventure, solo adventure books from 1982. About 7 years later than Tunnels and Trolls. After Tunnels and Trolls invented it, you can play these multi-million selling book series. So printed in the U.S. And so that means you're probably not going to want to try to get them out. They've stayed in print, I think, in the UK the whole time. So if you're outside of the U.S., it's probably easier to get them. Get them from the UK, but for American readers, they're doing a format. I was hoping they were going to do like a deluxe format, some kind of cheesy, crowdfunding. But I guess Steve Jackson really isn't famous for doing that. But taking those classic, fighting fantasy books and putting them in like a faux leather, with some kind of silly effects would have been nice. But they're just kind of doing a larger version, more of a trade paperback as opposed to the smaller mass market. So easier to read, and they emphasize readability. So I think they know who the demographic is for these books.
You're all old now.
Well, you can read them without your glasses. So and they're going to include as much of the original art as possible. A lot of it hasn't been available for a while, especially for the U.S. And they're not going to do a small mass market. It's a larger, kind of imitating the British release, the 5-inch by 8-inch format, designed for readability, available in the US, and they're designed as a set, so they kind of match. And this is just the first 5 books in the series, and they claim that they're already hard at work on the next volumes, so those will be coming. So each one of these fighting fantasy books are 240 to 256 pages. And they're emulating that B format of the UK books. Unfortunately, they said on the website that the license does not allow for PDF distribution. So there is no digital pledge, no digital level for these. They're meant to stick your fingers in anyhow for your to undo your mistakes. So you can't stick your fingers in a PDF and remember where you were flipping to. So the 5 adventures they're releasing are the first 5 in the series: the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Deathtrap Dungeon, City of Thieves, the Citadel of Chaos, and the Forest of Doom. So it looks like if you're going to buy them individually, they're $15 a book standalone, and I think up to $60 for the set. It's $60. So yeah, they're standalone or purchase them. 1 or 2, and then you can add on to get the full set. So there wasn't a listing for the there's a retail listing for the full set, but they were just listing the individual price, maybe to make it sound like a bargain when you purchased all 5. But of course, so the shipping, they are saying it's available worldwide, but the shipping's going to be pretty brutal. I've had some expensive Steve Jackson orders, so I wouldn't imagine it's going to be easy to get outside of the U.S. And they're also promoting on this campaign their Choose Cthulhu, which are their Cthulhu series for Choose Your Own Adventure, to those solo adventure game books. The Fantasy Trip books will also be available. So anything Steve Jackson has done fantasy-wise, you can get your hands on. But
yeah, I'm excited, man. Like, I had a friend in high school who had gotten a bunch of stuff. Ironically, while his dad was stationed in Japan, they lived in Japan, and he got some of these Final Fantasy books and some of that. Oh, what was that other one called? Do you remember that one where it's like they were like combat books, and like one person would have one and the other person would have the other, and you'd pick a page and compare results. I can't remember what one was called, but it would be like Samurai versus Viking.
Oh, wow. Kind of yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway, he was all in on all these like kind of just play out of the book games. And the little bit I got to play with these when I was back then was a lot of fun, and so I'm pretty excited. And now I'm looking at the Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and it's reminding me that there's a bunch of Ian Miller art,
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
and just some really cool old school vibe to the art that they're showing. They're not showing a lot of the art on the Kickstarter, which is a little annoying, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's cool. And these would be fun to do on the channel, I think.
Oh yeah. No, that's true.
And $60 for the was it 5 book set?
Mm-hmm.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it was at 12. Yeah, it knocks it down a few dollars. Yeah. No, that's not bad at all. Yeah, so we'll see what how they do with that. Yeah, it's funny because I've seen, and maybe because I'm seeing online, my online shopping is more international now, but they've never been kind of out of print anywhere. I've always seen the fighting fantasy books around. But yeah, that's cool. They are back, and yeah. So how many more days to go? A few. Yeah, we're pretty much just in the beginning of the campaign, so a few more weeks to go. So take a look. I still wish, like they did with the Lone Wolf, the Joe Deaver stuff. So I guess his son kind of took over that, and they're printing these like super deluxe versions of those books and stuff. So I really wish they would have gone all in with a kind of nostalgia grab. Making these like I guess though. Holding the heavy kind of hardcover deluxe version would not be so easy. They wouldn't be as functional if they did them that way. So keeping them as paperback makes them more functional as game books that you can be, flipping in and out of. But yeah, good stuff. Yes, I'll put the links to the Kickstarter and also the Fighting Fantasy page itself. But yeah, it seems like they're doing good, bringing back that nostalgia. And finally, well, they've solved the problem of making maps in Roll20, I guess. So Roll20 is now connected to Dungeon Scroll. So Dungeon Scroll is a really decent, like real fast mapping tool. It's been free for a while. Of course, they have a pro subscription as well. So if you have a pro subscription for Roll20 and a pro subscription for Dungeon Scroll, you're all set, because just what you need to pay is another subscription. So yeah, you can easily launch, and not only can you do maps on the fly within Roll20, but you can anything that you've done in Dungeon Scroll that's saved in that app can be brought into Roll20 as well. So yeah, it gives the ability for everyone to connect their maps and quickly draw a map out and then just drop it into your game. So real-time map making, which may help a lot if it's, if it doesn't crash, if it's all functional. So Dungeon Scroll is now, a connection is now established for all Jumpgate games in Roll20. So it is the new updated version of Roll20. Jumpgate is the latest version of Roll20, and you are probably already using it, and you're probably not impressed. But yeah, start a new game, you can use that version. So Dungeon Scroll offers isometric maps, PDF export, square or hex grids, and they've got a lot of built-in assets so you can drag, tables and desks and bookcases, right into the maps immediately. So give that a try. It's a free map making kind of browser-based deal, so give that a try if you want to see how it looks. It's very old school. It's got the hash, the kind of cross hatching to show the edges of the cave walls or the dungeon walls, and it draws things on a grid. So if you have the pro subscription for Dungeon Scribe, it will give you a dark mode, colored lighting, and then of course the ability to use these maps commercially. So you can publish, something that you've made in this, you can publish it, publish those assets themselves. So it's a free to use map making tool designed for making simple spark creativity by enabling exploration and take the stress out of creating maps for TTRPGs. And now, thanks to this brand new connection, whether you need a last-minute tavern or you want to prepare an intricate dungeon for your players, or you simply love the excuse to get your creative juices flowing, it's never been easier. So there's a video tutorial on YouTube of how this integration works, and it's pretty straightforward. It looks like anything that's accessible you can drag in, and you can kind of jump out into Dungeon Scroll, draw something, and then drop it on. And it'll, be on grid in Roll20. So yeah, the competition continues. People are just grabbing up, all the little accessories and supporting programs and stuff for either side. You're either going to be on Roll20 or sucked into somebody else's ecosystem.
So if I'm doing the math right, if you want the total Roll20 mediocre experience,
Right? Yes.
you now need 3 subscriptions.
Uh-huh.
Roll20, Discord,
Ah.
and Dungeon Scroll.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's nice. None of it's going to be. Maybe eventually, once Roll20 buys all this stuff, it's going to, or once it's under one company, it'll be one subscription. But yeah, for right now, yeah, it seems like a bunch of different pieces.
One subscription at a higher price.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So they're not making it easy, but yeah. So we'll see. Have you used Dungeon Scribe before?
No, I mean the way you described it, I think I've messed around with some web apps that do the same thing, but not that one specifically. I'm struggling to understand the utility of that in game. Like to me, like a map maker type program is great asset to have preparing for a game, but in game, it's kind of reminds me of the argument about whether or not people, GM should have like a bunch of music programmed.
Right.
Like you're always stopping everything to fiddle with something, and it's like, I just want to play.
That's true. Yeah, just talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna draw the dungeon level 1. Yeah, that's true. It is a bit of a distraction. And my experience as a player, I was on one of our very early online sessions. I think it was Dungeon Scroll that I was using, an early version of it, and it literally crashed and I lost everything that I had mapped for the first half of the adventure. So I was like barely playing my character and, struggling with this program, and then I lost everything halfway through, and it was just a very bitter experience. So yeah, web-based stuff is a little tricky because you don't always know if it's not making a file locally on your machine, you don't know what's being saved and what's not. And unfortunately, nothing that I had made was saved. But yeah, so another tool in the toolbox. So, and I think we're just going to see this constant, competition of instead of Roll20 actually, innovating and coming up with their own technologies and stuff, they're just going to buy stuff and tack it on to what they're already doing, which is already kind of shoddy. I was like really, really not impressed with their new and improved jump gate version. It just made things like more pink and purple, I think is the only thing they did. Yay. But yeah, so we'll see how this shakes out. And we still don't have, I guess open beta did officially start last year for the project, whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember the code name for the D&D for the Wizards of the Coast VTT, but that's supposedly beta in the beta wild, but I haven't heard anybody talking about it. And we may hear less and less as people are like, less satisfied with this revision release, and as Critical Role and people move away from 5e, we may not ever hear anything about this. So just the people that are stuck in that world, will be talking about it in their little echo chamber.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
They're like the 12 guys that bought DeLoreans.
Right. Yes.
Well, shit.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So that is going to do it for this week. So where can people find you, Matt?
Oh, Blue Sky and Instagram, I suppose.
Yes.
It's at Hargald, HAARGALD. On Blue Sky, I've been talking a lot about Tunnels and Trolls, and actually started following a lot of Tunnels and Trolls accounts and fans thereof, and so it's been kind of cool. We're getting some feedback for our game, and I'm looking forward to us playing Friday, and it'll just be an adventure and no more characters to make. And This is like incentive to not kill you guys, so we don't have to make any more characters. But
Right.
yeah, but no, I'm looking forward. I've been having fun. So we want to talk some gaming. I'm on there. And how about you?
So yeah, Abuse Cartoons has got a live stream coming up sometime before the end of February. So that would probably be next week. It looks like probably Thursday. So what is that, the 27th or whatever? Yeah, so probably next Thursday will be my cartoon stream because my schedule has just not allowed for that to happen. But Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. And just to note, Twitch just made a big change. So for both Upturned Table and Abuse Cartoons, they're deleting all of the highlights and archives. So for Upturned Table, they're limiting it to 100 hours, I think, of archived streams, and I have like 600 hours on there. So we're gonna lose a lot of hours of archive on Twitch, but it's all on YouTube. It all exists on YouTube if you'd like to see it. But yeah, just so you know, if you're looking at old stuff on Twitch, that's going away. But abusecartoons.com. And if you want to read the cartoon, gocomics.com/domestic abuse. 20 years of single panel gag cartoon hilarity. And if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, consider becoming a weekling. You can do that on patreon.com/upturnedtable. That's one of the tiers for patrons. And you can let us know what you want to see on the weekly live stream and what we'd like to discuss. And there's other tiers for lore and actual play and all kinds of supporting what we're doing. That also gives you access to the Discord, the YouTube membership as well. So that join button below this video will give you access to the same things. And you're going to have to bother me to get into the Discord because for some reason that automated system is not working. So I'll put a members only Discord invite into the YouTube members section just in case it's confusing, but then you can see what we're doing in the Discord and join the discussion. So thanks for joining us. All of this audio is going on the RSS feed for Patreon, so you can listen to our full discussion there. And we will be back again next week. And thank you, Matt, for filling in. And we'll be back again soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah, Miguel and Carolina mentioned it.
Oh, okay. And we're back. Okay. Oh, so sorry, Miguel, Carolina. You guys are seeing too many ads. What's going on? Yeah, I'll take a look at the settings, the ad settings for if it's changed for live streams. I know that that's something that YouTube changes sometimes. So sorry if you keep getting interrupted.
Hey, I want to do a little
Oh.
nerd Foley work real quick.
Oh, okay.
Can you see this? Listen to the sound. That's the sound of an old nerd's heart warming up. This is the second heftiest like RPG hardback I own.
Nice.
The most hefty is Against the Dark Master.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that one? Or
Yeah.
do you have that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that thing. You could kill a man with that book.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I've got some big older books, and yeah, some of them the binding is just not going to make it much longer. I think it was wise to kind of start splitting stuff into, game masters and players handbooks and stuff. But I do love the big volume.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in the unboxing or the flip through, but like, it's great to have a PDF to go through everything and to get references and what have you. But there's something about just sitting around with a big ass old D&D or RPG book and, just kind of browsing through it while you're drinking your coffee or whatever. Like, just takes me back.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Nice. So how's everybody doing?
Oh, Tunnels and Trolls Rebellion Unplugged update.
Oh, yes.
So
Get a
they're
reply? Oh, no.
Their contact thing is one of those stupid web form things, and I got an email from them, an automated email saying that they got my request and that they would be responding. That was 6 days ago, so. We might need a new watch, like the Brink watch, where it's
okay.
When does Rebellion Unplugged sell their license to someone else?
Right. Countdown to the pass off. Yeah.
yeah. Because it's just like, okay, we're 2 months into the new year, into the 50th anniversary, and you guys are just totally silent on the whole thing.
Yep.
And it's like.
And
what a waste!
Right,
what a waste.
We've got a living, original creator that they could be using to help promote things, and yeah, it's ridiculous that they're not taking advantage.
And we're not the only ones doing stuff for the 50th. I don't know if you've noticed, but like, do you watch that? I never say it right. Zigma Throtap guy?
No. He did some stuff. Yeah.
He's a YouTuber that does mostly he does character creation in old games, so like demonstration videos, and he kind of tends to do it in a line, right? Like he did a whole Gamma World series where he made characters in all the editions of Gamma World, and it's kind of fun because he'll compare and contrast the different things. And he'll call out the old school nonsense rules that he encounters and stuff.
Right.
And he's started one for Tunnels and Trolls, and he's done a video for, I think it's technically second edition because there's a weird thing with Tunnels and Trolls editions. Depending on who you ask, there's 6 to 9 editions of Tunnels and Trolls. Right. So then he's gonna go and he's gonna do one in the I think the 5 rules, and then he's gonna do like deluxe Tunnels and Trolls, and maybe up to 7th or something like that. And,
cool.
And they're pretty fun videos. And plus, on top of that, I was telling you earlier, like I've just started following and gained a bunch of followers who are just people who dig Tunnels and Trolls on Blue Sky, right? So there's an opportunity there. And it's
Nice.
just a shame, like they're just running silent on the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, and if they didn't have stuff already, in process, last year or the
Yeah.
year before, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way anything's going to
There's
happen.
no way. Because if they're going to crowdfund it, like most of these things will go,
Yeah, right.
then what are you going to do? You're just going to announce a Kickstarter for the 50th, and it'll
Right.
come out in the 51st or whatever. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
It feels to me like, because Rebellion's like a video game company, right?
Mm.
Or isn't that what they? I don't know.
Originally up there, who handled 2000 AD, so they do publishing for the
Okay.
for the
Well, what's the
Judge Dredd.
unplugged? What's the unplugged thing?
So
then?
yeah, so I think that's their licensing for all this stuff. The Unplugged is their board game, because I think there's like their Judge Dredd board games and stuff. So they're physical goods, and they have like a car battle game. I forget what that's called, but yeah, they've got a couple of board games. Some of the old school stuff that they kept in print, and I think that's what they started the Unplugged label for. So when they go to crowdfunding, it's that separate kind of thing.
Okay, because it said Unplugged made me think that their main business was a video game business.
I think they probably do, or they think that they're like making TV and movies and stuff. I don't know what they.
Okay,
but just handling.
Well, that changed my perspective, because I was envisioning like, Dave at Rebellion, who's really a programmer. Got saddled with this because he accidentally said he likes tunnels and trolls or something.
Right.
But maybe it's just a company that doesn't have a lot of resources. I don't know.
It might be. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they do Sniper Elite, and yeah, that's right. They do games as well. Yeah, they think they do everything though, so that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So Rebellion Publishing, Rebellion Unplugged. They have a lot of stuff separated. So yeah, I guess they're probably just buying up a bunch of rights to stuff. I wonder what, because they may, maybe ultimately the only reason they wanted Tunnels and Trolls is just so they could reprint those solo adventure books. Do a reprinted series, just like Fighting Fantasy, just revive those books, those adventures, and put them out. I don't know. We'll find out what they're even doing. Yeah, but I mostly know Rebellion from they're managing all the 2000 AD stuff. Yeah. So yeah, no, but I think you're right. It's a real missed opportunity, and they should just do some kind of acknowledgement to what the plans are, and that should have happened last month. But yeah, you never know.
Oh, I did want to give a little shout out.
Oh,
hold on. Let me open my Boost guy real quick. Hodog, I was hoping he'd be on here today.
Oh yeah.
Or she, I don't know. I apologize, but is running a virtual, like an online convention, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Let me look it up real quick here. Also, he's offering a lot of art, so if anybody needs art for a project, he's around.
Oh, nice.
Why can't I find it? Nah, I can't find it now.
Oh,
Damn
okay.
it. Well, keep talking. I'll keep looking.
Oh, sure.
But he's looking for volunteers to, I guess, run stuff maybe during the online convention. And when I find it, I'll tell you. But let's talk about something else.
Cool. Yeah, sorry. So Miguel's saying the 2 sets of commercials in the stream. Yeah, I'll check and see what the settings are. I haven't changed anything, but maybe like the default settings for because I'm reading the comments about commercial interruptions. So that may have changed. I'll turn that down. I know that's not where we make money, so it's not I don't want you guys harassed by that, but yeah, interesting.
I found it.
Okay.
So it's called Precognition, the virtual tabletop role-playing convention, March 14th to 16th.
Oh, nice.
And they have a Kickstarter for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'll... Yeah, but he's looking for volunteers basically. So if anybody's into that, like Orcus, I don't put you on the spot, but I know you do some online virtual type stuff. So there you go. I'll put the link in the chat.
Cool. Oh yeah, Orcus made a comment. Hopefully they don't water down the original art or censor it for the States. Yeah, because I think all the artists that did, especially fantasy stuff, like 80s fantasy stuff, it was always a little edgier. And that was the thing, even with Tunnels and Trolls, the new art that they did for those releases in England, the Corgi published Tunnels and Trolls solo books, had spicier and more violent art in them than the American ones. So yeah, they had less censorship. So hopefully, yeah, the original stuff stays intact. That's a good.
They show a couple spreads on the Kickstarter page, and they're very old school black and white looking art, which I'm sure I think it's probably original. The covers are. I remember that art.
Oh yeah, a lot. So. Oh yeah, and that was the one thing they promoted is they're doing a new original cover. So the Warlock of Firetop Mountain on the campaign page is just a big question mark because they're commissioning new artwork, a new painting for the for that book. Where's those details? Yeah, but that was the reason that they put. Yeah, so it's not intended to evoke mystery or surprise. So Ian Livingstone himself has commissioned new work from Karl Kopinski for this adventure. Yeah, so it's going to get a new cover by Kopinski. So hopefully, in the love good, it will be good and interesting. Yeah, that is not. Yeah, $60 isn't bad for that set, especially if they're a larger, nicer format. Although Steve Jackson does not insanely good quality books. Their books are just okay. They're kind of a mediocre level. So these, they aren't. Them handling this isn't like the most impressive thing because some of the like fantasy trip books and stuff, they're okay. They're real close to print on demand in some instances.
the layout, like,
oh yeah,
is just so sparse and boring, and like it's only like a step above what I do. So I'm very judgy about their games.
Right.
But it is kind of funny though that it's like Steve Jacksonception, right? Because it's British Steve Jackson's game being redone by American Steve Jackson.
Yeah, that's very, very funny. Yeah, did he pass? Did the British Steve Jackson pass? Because they only mentioned Ian Livingstone in the campaign, so it's possible. Yeah, so not good. So yeah, I guess the surviving Steve Jackson.
Well, according to Wikipedia, he's alive.
Okay, so maybe just not involved. Yeah, maybe just
73. So he may just be over it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you guys, you do that. I don't care if the Americans read fighting fantasy books anymore. So frustrating.
And I think my heavy metal Kickstarter is only a couple months from physical fulfillment, so that's cool too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be good if they could get that back on track.
Yeah, and Broken Empires, I think, is close to quick start rules. Nice. And I'm really hoping we'll get to see those because he's been real reluctant to release anything before the entire book is complete.
Right.
But I figure if they're gonna call something quick start rules, we'll probably get to see that early.
Yes, hope so. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'd love to give that system a shot. Nice. Oh yeah, sorry guys. Yeah. So both Carolina and Miguel mentioned. Yeah, I didn't change anything. So it must be something else they're doing for you. I've just like I was mentioning with the Twitch. Yeah, they just are making these like sudden changes, and most of the time it's not. They don't even notify you. I guess because they're deleting your content. Twitch, sent out a notification. They put a big warning on the the dashboard in Twitch. But yeah, they just make changes. There's like, yeah, this is how it is now, because before Twitch would actually let you upload videos, but now there's no uploading on Twitch. You have to you have to stream it onto Twitch. So you can't, if you miss a stream or if something happens and Twitch doesn't get it, there's no way to replace it. So they don't want you to be archiving anything except for like little clips, like little highlights and stuff. That's why they only give you the 100 hours. Hey Quark, how's it going? Nice. Yeah, going. Oh, and cheap views from the Russian website. Yay! Awesome. Yeah, that's what Twitch is always good for, is Russian view buys. Nice. Very cool.
So I wonder if, I wonder if very many people really are using the weird hybrid Discord Roll20 thing.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I'm wondering if you add this into that, like, how many layers of stuff maybe getting screwed up are we going to add? Like, I don't know. That's weird.
What is, no, the Discord, because you load it in Discord as an activity. And so basically it's just like essentially showing your screen, but it knows specifically to just show an instance of your Roll20 desktop. But it doesn't fit well because it's expecting you to all have your little video windows. But that means you have to turn your video windows off in Roll20. You have to kind of choose which one you're going to show. So it's a very clumsy execution, because it's basically, you get the same effect just sharing your screen with a browser version of Roll20 open. So yeah, it's odd the way that they're doing it. I don't know if it would be, it's not making it any more stable. It's making it much uglier, but it also means that maybe you don't have to worry about browser versions or whatever. Maybe just cuts out the Mac Windows and what browser version is being used. But other than that, I don't see what the advantage would be. But yeah, they're just dragging everything in that they can just to say, look at all these wonderful options. Yeah, because that seemed like a big announcement when they first were talking about, within Discord you're going to play, and then when you see the actual execution, it's like, oh, it's just an activity. They just plugged it in as an activity in Discord, like all the other stupid stuff you can do at the same time. So basically, it's like a sharing your desktop, but everybody can interact with that app. And it does update. They say it does have some trouble, but it should update then, into your Roll20 session. So when you stop playing on Discord, it should stay. You should have preserved locations of all your tokens and, your character sheets and everything.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, we've had Craig just bail on us, and that's just one.
Yeah.
One little app that's not being asked to do anything but record sound.
Right.
Very skeptical.
Mm-hmm. And just, now that with all of these things running and, making sure all these things are being subscribed to, and then you have one little internet hiccup, one little internet connection, and it just takes the whole thing down.
Yeah. Just a cascade of dumbness. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad we're getting a chance. So yeah, tomorrow around this time, we'll be doing some tunnels and trolling. That's good.
Further into the cave of the Boarmen.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye out for some tiny little fairy skins that the that those troglodytes have harvested.
One little rack that's like a foot tall, with stretched out.
Nice. Cool. And we're just worried. I think we're all just concerned about the dog. We just want to save the dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have not found the dog.
Right.
I wouldn't kill the dog.
Would
I? No.
If it would be useful, yeah. He's just gonna. What's that?
I'm old school. I wouldn't kill the dog. I just put it in a situation where you might kill the dog.
That was totally on you. The chain it was suspended over that pit of acid, it was totally secure until you messed with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, more toilet play.
The adventure with the crap pit was very entertaining. The crap pit.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's basically what it was.
We're just all, well, should we put our fingers in? What do we do? And then we get attacked.
Hey, have you had time to think about illustrations for the other characters?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was almost almost got some things off, but I'll get those. I'll get something, before tomorrow.
Because I was going to say, not for tomorrow, doesn't matter, but I know how to do the keyframe thing in Final Cut Pro.
Oh,
So if you want, I could work on that short.
Oh, cool.
I just need the pictures of the characters.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fun.
And I don't know, is there a way to download the YouTube audio from YouTube, or
let's see. Yeah, there's downloaders. Yeah, it's like third party. So if you just search YouTube downloader, there's websites where you can put in a URL and it'll harvest either the audio or the video off of YouTube. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes certain posts or certain content isn't accessible by these third parties. But yeah, there's nothing through YouTube. Like, there's no legitimate way. I think even if you're subscribed, the best you can do is download it into the app, like basically offline viewing. So yeah, YouTube doesn't let you do that. On the back end, you can. If it's your stuff that you uploaded, they'll let you download it again in its crappy, super compressed form. But if there's anything you want, because I've got the Craig files and everything, I can. If you want any of that audio, just let me know.
Yeah, if you can give me audio that kind of encapsulates the first timestamp to the last one that I sent you, that would be great.
Okay, cool.
Because then I can chop that up.
Okay,
it's no problem.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be fun. We should definitely give that a shot, because that would be nice, to do like little teaser highlights from the our actual play sessions as more dynamic content. That's good. Nice. Yeah, so check that out. Our first, so you can see Will getting into the campaign, and then the session before that is all the character creation. So I think I put, either I did or somebody put a link to after character creation if you want to just get right into the adventure, because we had like an hour and a half. Yeah.
That was the other thing I was going to ask you. Do you think maybe when we're done with the adventure, you don't have to edit it, but just stitch together just the adventure pieces?
Sure.
Tack that onto the
playlist. No, that'll be good. Something? Yeah, that's something I can do for for members and patrons. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. That's a good idea. Yeah, just put the whole thing together. Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Oh yeah, I did. There's timestamps on that first live stream for character creation, and then when the adventure starts. So we were an hour 49 minutes before we got into it. Nice.
I think because Total Control's character creation isn't hard, but I think just that extra step of doing it through a VTT.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of having to wait to get their question answered or to look at something. It just kind of doubles the time it takes to do that,
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. No, I'll definitely make a adventure only version. That would be good. Good. Yeah, I've got the Abyss is talking about the premium thing. Yeah, I don't even realize how much they're screwing around with ad breaks and stuff, because it's they all disappear. And I think that's what they're probably doing. They're probably making it worse and worse, so it's more harassing, harder to skip. Because in Japan, it's unskippable ads are the default. So if I'm watching on a different account that's not a premium account, it'll do 30-second to 1 minute unskippable ads. So sometimes you have a minute and a half to 2 minutes of just nothing. You have to just watch. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I can't even once you got me, and Will and I were talking about this not too long ago, actually. We were like, once you got us off the commercial train, oh my gosh, it's like such a better experience. So yeah, apologies for people dealing with the commercials. But we appreciate you sticking it out.
Yeah, but thank you for not blocking them, not running ad blockers. Yeah, because that does help the channel. Yeah, the funny thing about earlier days of YouTube is Japan is famous for its 15-second ad breaks. So they used to show one 15-second ad break on YouTube videos, and that was like nothing. That was and because they're so bombastic and quick and crazy, so there used to be very little interference, but now they've figured out that streaming commercials are a different beast. So now they do these long form unskippable ads, which are really, really obnoxious.
So with the because there's so many YouTubers now who get a sponsor, are they doing both?
Yeah, they will basically.
That's rough.
Yeah. You'll basically have like a pre-roll, a mid-roll, and probably an end ad, plus any ad sponsor readings. There is a box that you check when you upload something, like when we did the Magic Mind stuff. Anything that I uploaded, I checked that this is sponsored material, so it puts a little flag up there. But I don't know if that changes what they do with ads. I don't think it does. It probably just changes visibility because they're going to give you less ad revenue. So it'll probably recommend your videos less if they know that you've been sponsored ahead of time. So I'm not sure what that has an effect, but they ask you to check if you're reading paid promotion in a video, and that probably affects how they handle it. And hopefully it just means they don't do mid-roll, that they just give up their mid-roll ads. But I think that they may not, because they're looking for every penny, every yen, every drachma that they can get. Carolina says, "Ooh, I can block them." Yes, there are ad blockers that I think still work on YouTube videos. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's Miguel's bringing up the point that even the streaming services, you pay a subscription and they're still hitting you with ads. Like they'll still do pre-roll ads for Disney Plus, and I heard that the theory is that they want to go back to an ad based because subscribers, they've basically, all the platforms have plateaued as far as number of subscribers on the platforms and markets that they can get into. So they're basically done adding subscribers. So what they're going to do is push the premium subscription up to a ridiculous like $20-$30 a month, but then give a really cheap $5 or $10 ad version. Like, so you'll see ads, but you'll be paying much less for the subscription. And they're basically going to make it so expensive that they want to push everybody down to that, because we'll basically be going back to basic cable, where you pay a subscription and you still see commercials, so there's still commercial breaks. So that's where they can control it, because then they'll have awesome, viewer data, like they'll have perfect data from streaming. They'll know which commercials you watched, which commercials, you skipped or whatever. They'll have much better information about what they're selling you and your demographic information. And they just want to turn it back into basic cable. Yeah.
Which means we'll be getting back to the prestige television being designed for ad breaks.
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm experiencing right now because I'm going back and rewatching The Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
And the first it started at Sci-Fi Channel,
Sci-Fi, right?
And then it went to Amazon later for the last 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I started watching it, and there'd be the weird break, and then it would come back immediately,
Right, right.
and then it's like, oh yeah, there used to be commercials on this stupid thing. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's going to be weird, and because they never even figured out what a streaming series was or how to pace it or anything, because so many of those streaming series have so much filler. They can't even do 8 or 10 episodes without having a whole episode of just walking in a hallway, and discussing discussing what's going to happen next. The budgets were limited enough that they couldn't make every episode feel like a small movie, so they padded stuff out ridiculously. So yeah, I think they're gonna, before they even figure out what they're doing, they're gonna go back to that old ad model because it's more successful. There's more money there if you can get Mercedes and Coca-Cola and McDonald's advertising on your videos, and plus all those drug companies. That was the HBO Max. That was the thing that was so shocking. I got a VPN going and got a subscription on Max, and it's all pharmaceutical commercials. It's just like the wackiest names you've ever heard for the wackiest conditions, and it's just like a non-stop. The ad breaks are all pharmaceutical. Fun stuff. But maybe they don't know, they don't have enough information about me, so they assume I'm suffering from eczema and heart palpitations and everything else. Yes. So, well, good. So we'll get back to it shortly.
Yeah, so we've got, while we're together, we should, let's see here. After we play this week, this will finish the adventure for sure. We'll have 1 week without Terry.
Right.
Because he'll be on his cruise or whatever. Man, that guy is like doing an epic 3 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
Must be nice.
He's doing the Gallifrey thing, the Doctor Who convention. And then I think he was doing like just a Southern Cal thing or maybe a Vegas thing. And then I think he's doing a cruise.
Wow.
Like he's just going for it. So we'll have 1 week without him, and then the week after that, I won't be around.
Oh, so, okay.
So I don't know what we want to do next weekend, the week of the 7th, because, but yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky. You should come up, with something that's maybe like a quick start kind of thing where we have some pre-gen characters and can just jump into something. Yeah.
I guess we could just start looking at all the quick starts that come out recently.
Right. And they do have, the thing we didn't mention was that humble bundle of all of the Fallout. Yeah, all the Fallout content for Alchemy. That's got to be gorgeous. But yeah, who knows? Who knows how playable? We're going to do another session of character creation. Survivor creation.
Clone the TV, Jeremy. What is he talking about?
Uh-oh. I don't know. Oh, is there double something going on with the TV?
No, Miguel said clone the TV.
Oh, I see. Oh, maybe to replace Matt, I have to keep...
Double Chris Matt inside a TV mock-up. What?
What's going on? Nice. Put both inside the TV.
Chris and I aren't allowed to be on at the same time. It's just it's the same as the Abyss Miguel Orcus conundrum.
Right. You never know, right?
It's a 3-body problem. You never know which thing is going to be there when.
Yeah. Yeah, the orbit of the planet actually changes when Chris and Matt are in the same place. It knocks you this much further away from the sun.
Yeah, like once in a while, Chris will jump into the chat when she's not around.
Right. That's right.
That's literally bending reality a little bit,
That is true. This is a very carefully orchestrated balance in the universe.
Oh, for when they are missing. Oh, I see.
I see. Just clone. Yes, right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Clone them. Yes, I could.
So you could just like when you run a game and like show a still picture of us in TVs. What would you like to do, Chris? And then you do your best Chris voice.
Right. I have to get my ventriloquism score a little higher. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So we'll figure out. I'll take a look because I've got a lot of like rules light, really fun, quick stuff. That might.
Do you have any kind of pre-gen adventure for Warlock? Because I would love to try that.
Oh yeah. Yes, I think though, but character creation is super fast in that. So
You say
yeah,
that now.
right. Yeah, let me take a look because I think there is an adventure because they did their own setting. Like they, essentially were saying, yeah, we're making fighting fantasy, Warhammer first edition Warhammer Fantasy, but here's our own setting. So they have some, they have a ton of books of NPCs and stuff, but they do have a campaign in their city, I believe. So let me take a look at what I've got for that. That would be, Warlock would be really fun. And I think it would work perfectly with alchemy because it's just 2d6. So
yeah, simple resolution. You won't have to set much up. And
that would be cool. Yeah, I would love to play some Warlock again. That's that's good stuff.
Because I think
or a funnel or a DCC funnel that could always
or a DCC funnel would be hilarious, and you could just that'd be hard doing alchemy though because of the ownership thing.
Oh, right.
Like it'd be tricky because you can't really have multiple characters.
I'll take a look. What I think there's a lot of good stuff for Unusable Foundry, but I'll take a look at Roll20, see what kind of content they have for DCC. Because a funnel would always be a fun thing. Yeah, fun thing to play, especially because they have the what is the Purple Mage or whatever, the website where basically one-click character generation for DCC. So you just basically, and I think it even will do like a spread of 4 characters. You push a button and it gives you a sheet of 4 characters. Yeah,
that's exactly what you need.
Yeah,
perfect. That's perfect. Oh, that'd be a hoot, dude. I've run 2 of those, but I've never got to do one.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well, then, let's do that. So, which ones have you run? Have you run those?
The bigger ones. What are they called?
Like the Starless Sky. What was
the Sailing the Starless Sea or something like that? I did that one.
Okay.
Which was hilarious. and then what's that other one? Oh, the one where you go into the mountain tomb that opens itself on a certain night of the year, and like literally someone is going to get killed at the door.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think okay. So
I don't know what that one's called, but it's like that one's a very small dungeon. One. It's not quite as weird as the Sailing on the Sea one. But yeah, I'll look. Let me just Google the names and I'll be able to tell you.
Okay. Yeah, but that would be fun. Maybe we'll do that. I'll see what how Roll20, if Roll20 can handle DCC okay and get that all set up. So gotta use. We'll hold our noses and use Roll20 for a year for a few of these sessions.
Yeah, I mean, and it's DCC, a funnel so even simpler than regular DCC. So. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, I'll take a look at some of the ones I've never run.
Okay, Sailors on the Starless Seas I've done. What is that other one called? No, there's a lot of them now. Wow. Oh, Portal Under the Stars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those are the 2 I've run as well. Okay, good. I'll find something. Yeah, I'll find something. Then we'll do a funnel. That would be good.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I bet Dylan would do that with us because he likes silly stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I'll find something nice and weird too. Yeah, that's got some some fun to it. Yeah, nice. Oh, that's right. I've got the Dying Earth stuff as well. They might have a good funnel.
Oh,
yeah, they might have a fun funnel. I'll take a look. Cool. All right. Yeah, so we'll have some wacky gonzo fantasy coming up. Yeah.
This one's more alien content. Yes.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna we'll probably do Alien by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get we just did Destroyer of Worlds. It's the last one is the Apocalypse Now. I can't associate it with anything but Apocalypse Now. Yeah, we'll do the third one. Not Destroyer of Worlds. What's the last one? Yeah, I'll have to get that. I don't.
The one we haven't done.
Yeah,
yet?
the one we haven't done. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we did the crazy Space Marine version, and I think it does have a little connection to the Heart of Darkness. That's right.
Oh yeah. That is the very Apocalypse Now adjacent.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we definitely got to get back to Alien. That's a thing that runs pretty fast because it is just like choose your pre-gen and things are set up. But I don't want you to miss it, so we can't start it until everyone is, especially everyone that played the Destroyer of Worlds, until everyone's free.
Abyss said, forgot that Jeremy has the 100th anniversary of Music of the Spears from Goodman Games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got that as well. That's right.
The one with the rotating dungeon?
Yep.
How would you do that on a VTT?
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, I got the 100th adventure too. That's right.
You'd almost have to have it in a Discord window with a camera just set over it.
Yeah, that's
you could rotate it so we could look at it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I would constantly have to be just showing you something. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What's the oh, do they even you know what? Roll20 might not even support DCC. Does it? Oh no, it does. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it looks like there's some a bunch of funnels.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, that could be fun, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. We'll give that a shot. Yeah, I just got to get better at controlling Roll20. not hating it so much. The scuffed stream. All of our streams are scuffed streams. Abyss. Nice. That's cool. Oh, what were we going to say?
No, I forgot.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'll look up a fun funnel and we'll drag some poor farmers and craftsmen and artisans through it.
That'll be fun, dude. And then what's cool about that is, you could just save whatever characters survive, and years down the line, it'll be like, hey, let's pull these guys out and play a level 1 DCC adventure.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. I'll take a look at recommendations too, because that community has, there's a lot of people that are they do their lists and stuff of my favorite funnels and stuff. So there's a lot of.
Now that X-Crawl has that campaign book now, that actually sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Did we already talk about that?
No.
So they, the whole thing with X-Crawl is it's Dungeon Crawl Classics, but as a reality show, right? So you're real. I don't want to say real world. You're people from a more modern setting who go into a dungeon that's like a reality show kind of thing. But now they've got a book which lets you handle everything outside the dungeon. So you can have finances and celebrity and just have this whole other component to the game. It sounds kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah, we should definitely check that out as well. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Okay, so we're hitting a bunch of fun fantasy this year. Tunnels and Trolls, DCC. Good. So yeah, I think that'll be a good backup. A real low prep, easy to put together.
Yep.
Game. Nice. All right.
Hey, did you know? Tangent.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a video the other day. You know the old D&D cartoon, right, from the 80s?
Right.
Did you know that the unfinished story involved a reveal that Venger was the Dungeon Master's son?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Nice. Because they had some kind of cryptic exchanges like during the cartoon, right? Didn't they? Yeah, I think I always remember like there being something weird. Yeah, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the creator writer guy, who I guess was a sincere D&D fan, he wasn't just some Hollywood schlock.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
He had a plan, and
Mm-hmm.
there was going to be this whole thing where you find out Venger is the Dungeon Master's son. And it was like, wow, that cartoon had more going on than I remember. I just remember a ridiculous kid with a horned helmet.
Yeah.
A cavalier that didn't have a sword. Because cartoons.
Right. Yeah, because nobody was holding pistols to get knocked, to get the barrels cut off of, or rifles, so they couldn't have swords. Yeah, that was silly trying to, have any enthusiasm. I can't believe though they're all statted out. Those characters are all statted out for 5e, and they're just like using that, and they were on the cover of one of the books, right? Yeah, that's just silly. Yeah, that's too bad. But any character voiced by Donnie Most, you gotta you gotta love that.
There's a name.
Yeah, keep working. Oh man, but yeah, that's funny. I can't imagine. But I think it's got to be really hard to have done anything decent in animation in the 80s because of how strict it has to have a moral lesson. It has to have no contact, no physical contact.
So yeah, particularly in the American cartoons, because at the same time, I was watching Robotech.
Oh yeah.
And G-Force, what was that called?
Battle of the Planets? Yeah, Battle of the
Planets, but it was like Gotcha Man or something?
Yeah, Gotcha Man. Yeah.
Yeah. But
science ninjas.
Even though those were highly edited for
right.
the U.S. market, they were still killing people.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching Battle of the Planets when I was like 4 or 5, and yeah, they were shooting those evil guards and stuff, and
yeah, that's true.
And then my brother, who's 8 years younger than me, so he's in that next kind of era of cartoons with like G.I. Joe and He-Man, right, and I can remember watching that stuff with him and just being an asshole, like. Every time, they shoot a fighter out of the sky in G.I. Joe, they always had to show the Cobra guy with his parachute coming down. And I'd just be sitting there with my little kid brother going, oh, this is stupid.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And they really had to, especially for Gatchaman, the G-Force Battle of the Planets, they had to chop that up so much they didn't even have enough material for a single episode. So that's why they added Zark, the robot underwater with his dog. They had to add all those bookending segments because they had to cut so much stuff out. Yeah, because there was a lot of alcohol use and depression and stuff, like really dark. There's some dark, broody stuff that they're just like, no, kids can't watch this.
Well, I remember reading about Gotcha Man, in the main villain guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he had the real pointy mask hat thing. I guess in the Japanese version, he's changes his sex all the time or something. That.
That's a real common anime trope is the evil, the gender gender shifting scary villain, because that's like supposed to be scary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a trope that they used a lot. Yeah, that doesn't hold up well now, and especially like a lot of their racial depictions and stuff. They want to show, somebody of another race. It gets a little insane. Yeah.
I will say, when I did briefly see the reissued Battle of the Planets, where they redubbed everything, it did bother me a little bit as an older guy that they took the kid, the goofy kid, the comic relief kid who had like a stutter.
Yeah.
They took that away.
Right.
Like, and I was like, oh, did you really have to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but also,
yeah,
he was it was part of his character. He was kind of nervous and fidgety. Yeah, you know.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah. They did kind of sterilize it. That G-Force release, was kind of sterilized, definitely. Yeah, that's funny.
But then you had like at the same time, my brother would be watching like the Transformers cartoon. We had like a local channel that showed like the kind of off-brand stuff, right? So you had the what were those guys called? The GoBots.
Oh yeah.
And then you had Translord Z. You remember that one? The mech one, and that one had a regular reoccurring mech in it whose breasts were missiles that it fired.
Right. Yeah, that had that giant robot phase, in Japan, and then America just licensed everything they could, to just once giant robots were cool. And so that was funny. That's why Robotech got so screwed up, because Revell had already licensed some of the best mechs, the fighters, the mechs that turned into the fighters. They already licensed that design, so they couldn't use it. They couldn't release merchandise for it if they were going to do Macross, if they were going to release it as Macross. So that's why Macross got changed to Robotech, because Revell already was calling those models Robotech in their plastic model kit reveals or releases. And so they just kind of compromised and said, okay, we don't want to release a show and you're doing the merchandise and none of us benefits from it, from brand confusion. So that's why they went with the Robotech name. And then it just got worse from there. Yeah, but that whole phase, and there's still so much of that, like at the collectors, shops and stuff here. There's so much of that those old plastic robots from the 80s.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, cool. So we will, be back tomorrow around this time. Thanks so much, Matt, for hanging in with me.
Bet.
And so now we got something to do, something to look up. The dungeon crawl funnel will be cool. So look for a DCC funnel after we finish our Tunnels and Trolls. Crazy. All right. So take care, everyone. And thanks again for all the members and support. And please, if you are a member of the YouTube channel and the mechanism isn't working, you're not getting access to the Discord, let me know and I can manually add, and I'll put a link, an invite code inside the member tab for YouTube to make that work better. And so thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back again soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.